Hi, everyone. Welcome back to 5 Years Time Podcast with your host, Grace. I'm so excited to be here. Season 3. Oh my gosh. I feel like we have so much to catch up on, which is why this week's episode is our heart to heart episode, because I feel like I just need to, let it all out. Ah, I just need to start with a breath. Let's do a big, deep breath. It feels so good to be in somewhere pretty exciting, but I'm gonna hit up on that in a bit. So I think we should start with the catch up because my hiatus went a little bit longer than expected. I initially thought that this was gonna be, a 2 week break that I normally take at Christmas time, and it kind of ended up extending into 4. I have a bit explaining to do because I left you high and dry on our last episode of 2022, season 2, because I caught the flu. If you follow me over on Instagram, then you are all caught up. But here's a little bit of what's been happening. I want to kind of stick with the holiday highs because mainly we did have a really good holiday. And I want to start off this new year focusing on our positives and just bringing joy and excitement. And before we can talk about the highs, we just need to put a little bit of conversation around the lows, and I'm just going to do it. But I think we all know that at the end of last year, in most of my episodes, I was kind of feeling down and I was in this whole new mindset head space that I had not been in before. I guess on that note, I'm feeling so much better. I've been feeling so much better. And I kind of wasn't thinking that the seasonal darkness was going to get to me so much. Like, I feel like people talk about seasonal depression all the time. Usually I feel fatigued this time of the year, not the fall leading up to the holidays, but I was feeling very fatigued leading up to the holidays. Our house was in a continuous stream of sick, and I just was feeling really worn down. So I have taken my 4 weeks to reset, recover, and restart. And I'm feeling so much better. Like, I could cry with the joy that I am. I just feel back to myself, back to what I am used to, and just feeling more and more myself with every day. And that makes me so happy because as a creative and working in creative spaces and sharing about myself, it's very hard to do that when you're not feeling yourself. So it's just feeling really grateful. I'm feeling really grateful right now. And as you know, I'm always about embracing the highs and the lows. And I think for a while there, it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm usually used to bouncing back and forth or being able to experience low and then bounce to a high and just but it was feeling very roller coastery, and I needed to kind of just look inwards and reconnect with myself. And I think that I've successfully done that. It's this weird world to work in, sharing, creative social sharing, because a lot of it is you working solo but sharing yourself to an audience, and it's a lot of giving of yourself, and you kind of I think I rode that giving for a while, and then I'm kind of jumping into my heart to heart. But anyways, I'm just gonna give you a little teaser. But I think I kind of rode that giving and then forgot, Grace, you gotta give back to yourself. You need to focus on yourself and remember yourself and do actual self-care, and don't cut out something that's important to you and your self-care to be able to at least have, oh sorry, I forgot I had my sound on, to be able to at least to give a little bit more for your content. Like, your content isn't the bare minimum. Yourself or your content isn't the line of completion. I think filling your cup first and then being able to pour into all the other facets of your life are what matters. So anyways, that's a little peekaboo sneak peek of what our heart to heart's going to be. But let's work on the catch up. So we've talked about the lows, but we're moving on from that. Our holiday highs. Time with Ro. I feel like I had the most amazing time with my little Ro, and we just were able to really connect and do some really amazing, fun things, which was amazing. As you know, or most of you know, Ro goes to childcare for the day, and she absolutely loves it. And I absolutely am a supporter of childcare and believe in all the good things that it has to offer. But that being said, it was just so nice for us to be able to have that time and reconnection, especially after the fall that me and her had together and just like the bouncing back of everything. You all know. But I kind of was a little bit overwhelmed going into the fall or going into the holidays. I was feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have the same free time I've had or ability to create or work or whatever. And I kind of was just like, stop thinking about it that way. This is a really amazing time for you and Rosie to do things together and to reconnect and just like build your relationship. And I just needed to like change my mindset. I used to work in childcare, and when I worked in childcare at a before and after school program, we would have the kids for Christmas break and March break, like all those school breaks, we would run a program. And that was always my favorite time of year because we would put so much focus on this program where we got to spend full times with the kids, and we wanted it to be something unique and special because it, yes, they're going to school because our programmers run out of school, but it's not going to school on break. So we would go on all these trips and we would bring in fun entertainment. We would plan resort days where we would set up the school as like a resort with like a spa, gaming, arcade center, like all the fun things. Do a restaurant, have pajama day with like pancake breakfast. We would try and make it as fun as possible. And I think it was such a fun time for the staff and for the kids. And it was such a connection time where we built this amazing connection outside of like the usual experience of like going to school and participating in school activities. So I kind of took that mindset and I decided if Ro's on vacation, I'm on vacation. Yes, I'm not on vacation from like having responsibilities, but I'm on vacation because I am her caregiver and she is on vacation. So we're on vacation. So we're doing vacation things. So that's what we did. And every day I woke up and we went and did vacation things. We would go to different attractions. We went and saw the butterflies at the butterfly conservatory where they like fly around and land on you. And it was so cute. Ro at first was a little nervous, but then once one landed on her, she was like, "Oh, it tickles." And it was so lovely. We went out and ate lots, which I mean is definitely a splurge, but we were kind of running or we were kind of riding that holiday high. We weren't going grocery shopping. We were eating out more or eating what food we had in our house. And that's obviously my love language, but we would do average things that we normally do every day. Um, go to the library, go to the park, but then go out for lunch. And it was just something special to connect. And we had a really wonderful time. We went and saw the birds at the Bird Kingdom in Niagara Falls, and we got to feed them, and they landed on us, and it was so fun. And we just did some really, really fun things. We visited family, and we just got out of the house every day. I got up to something new and got out in the community and just enjoyed each other's company, and it was really rewarding. And I'm so happy I was able to switch my mindset to vacation mindset. And it's kind of like I want to have vacation mindset all the time. I mean, like we can't always because obviously it's not practical to have a vacation mindset financially all the time. But I just mean more like why can't every day just be an adventure and something fun? Like why can't we think that more often? Or why can't I think that more often? I think I can. I think I should. So that was really lovely. We also had wonderful time with Trevor. He had a week off work and he also had the extended like holiday weekends, and we got up to lots of fun things as a family. But I think like my time with Ro was really, really special. Another holiday high was I wrapped up our organization. I feel like I've been talking about organization on the podcast for so long, but that's just to say how long it's been taking. And that's not to say I'm done organizing forever, but like the big things that I really wanted to get done have been done. And I just feel so much better about it. And that also leads us to where we're recording the podcast now. So I think I talked about this definitely on the vlog and I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on the podcast, but in our room, like me and Trevor's room, we have two closets. One actual closet with like a clothing bar, a couple shelves, and then we have another little closet which is not really a clothing closet. Like it has a couple shelves, but it doesn't have like a bar for clothes or anything like that. And we used to keep a dresser in here and then just have a few baskets on the floor. But I was able to amalgamate and move everything into our one closet, which isn't that big. It's a pretty average size closet, but it does fit our dresser, and then I have one side and he has the other side. And we got rid of so much unnecessary things. I'm going to do a whole podcast episode about that because it was like this revolutionary thing that I wanted to do for so long, but I had this gap because of all these, I don't know, fears and ideas of waste. I just felt so much negativity about wanting to do, or about, I felt guilt about wanting to switch up my closet, and I got over it. But I'm going to do a podcast episode about that. Anyway, so we got rid of so much stuff that we do not use anymore. And that just freed up mental capacity and air and breath. And like, I don't know, it just like freed up so much space in our lives in general, but obviously physical space as well. So then I had this space being my, like, the secondary closet. That's not really a clothing closet, which I have wanted to make into a podcast studio since the day, I swear I saw it, like since we moved into this house, before I even started the podcast. But you all know I wanted to start a podcast for years prior. And I don't know why I always felt so held back. I think I felt like, oh, this is a shared space. It's for me and Trevor. It's not fair for me to take it for myself. We need it for our clothes, for this, for that. I don't know. I just felt like so much it's not practical. And I never just like jumped. And I have recorded the podcast in so many areas of our house. So many areas. um, we started in the basement at Trevor's work desk. I would record the podcast there after he finished work, obviously in the evening. And then I moved up to our guest room. And then I moved to our dining room. Then I moved to our living room. Then I moved back to the basement, but on a different table. And it's just like I have recorded so many places, and none of them has felt like home yet. None of them have felt the vibes I wanted. They haven't been the cozy. They haven't been the comfort. Like, I feel like this podcast is very much about bearing my soul and just like having a heart to heart and like sitting on the couch with your friends, just chit chatting and hanging out. Like, those are the vibes. And nowhere I was recording it felt like the vibes. Everywhere I was recording was a table or in an open space. And I felt like the sound could not be as what I wanted it to be in that open space, because like my echo would like not be what I wanted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a closet, it's like the sound is all very much in the mic, and it's like there's not much space for my sound to bounce. And I don't know. I'm not a sound person, but I just felt like it wasn't what I wanted to be. There was too much like airiness. That being said, this is our first time recording in the new setup. So like we'll work with the sound. Don't worry. We're going to get there. It always takes a little bit of time. I do have to be honest. I just recorded this episode. Oh, I wasn't going, the mic wasn't, I wasn't, my software, like my mic was all set up, but I use Audacity, which is a program like on your computer to check my sounds and whatever, my volumes. And then I record through Zencaster because it's nice, because it like automatically uploads to like a cloud. So then Trevor edits the podcast. So then he can like grab the podcast from his computer. It's just really great. It also has a great interface. It's great for interviewing people, having guests on. You can also record video. It's just a great place. Anyways, that's kind of like a side hit on Zencaster, but I didn't know. I got a new box connector that connects the mic to the, you connect your mic to the box to the computer. If you know this, you know this. I don't know what it's called, but anyways, I got a new one of those because another reason I felt like the space that I was recording was never what I wanted it to be, was because me and Trevor shared everything. Like, the reason I had a mic in the first place and this box that connects it to the computer is because Trevor had that for his gaming computer. So he had this set up for gaming, and then I kind of borrowed it. And then I would always have to like run around the house and figure out where all the bits and bobs were that I needed to record and bring it all together. It's not like I could just walk into a room, close the door, and just like bare my soul. It was like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but like for me, any little bump in the road or any little mountain to climb can set me back, especially when it comes to these things. I feel like a lot of the time I just like have an idea and I want to talk about it right now, but then it's like, oh, the time's not right. Oh no, I need to plug in my computer. Guys, we are not going to have an issue anymore. Okay. I'm going to get back to the story. 1 second. I'm just going to pause this and plug in my computer. Okay, cutes. We're back. I got my charger for my computer and I went to the bathroom because, as I was saying, prior to this, I had recorded this episode. So I was already in here for like an hour recording, drinking my 2 drinks. And when I found out that the audio was not good, which was right away, I was like, okay, I'm going to download it just to make sure. And I was like, no, Grace. So what I have to do is Zencaster. I have to check the settings to make sure it's recording out of this mic and not my computer mic. And I used to always double check that. But then I found like there was no point to do it because I guess it just like memorized my old mic. But because I'm using a new connecting box, I guess it doesn't recognize it. So it chose my computer audio over the connecting box audio. But I did my test volumes through Audacity, which was sounded fine. Anyways, at first, I'm like actually so proud of myself because that would have wrecked me. And something happened yesterday where I was filming a TikTok and it didn't pick up sounds in a few of my clips for some reason. And I was so excited for those clips. There were such cute conversations between me and Ro. I was also kind of doing an ASMR video, but like that would have wrecked me as well. Like wrecked me. Even though I try to be as optimistic as possible, those things like that, like they just like ugh, they just like get my blood boiling, and it's like silly mistakes that I could have avoided, or like little tech issues that you just can't figure out how to fix. But I'm so like actually proud of myself because I have just like been so calm through both of those things. They happened 2 days apart, and I just feel like I am in this new place. I will do a podcast episode on that too because like I just feel like this whole new calmness and like acceptance for like what is, and all I can do is move forwards, and it just feels really really refreshing. Anyways, I will get back to the story I was talking about, but that took me into it, was why my audio wasn't connected and why I felt also, just on that note, why I felt fine to record this. Typically it's like, oh, I wouldn't want to record the same episode because it's like the ad lib won't be the same. It's not the same vibe. But this is my first time recording in 4 weeks and sitting down. So like I'm sure the first episode I'm not going to listen to it because I don't want it to like interfere with this. I did listen to like obviously the first couple seconds and was like, no, it's not the right audio. But at first I was like, oh no, should we just not have this episode? Because I have other episode ideas. I was like, okay, we can talk about something else. Am I going to pivot? But then I was like, I don't want to pivot because I really feel like we need to have this heart to heart opening up the new season, just like understanding where I'm coming from, like just vibing me out. You know what I mean? And I haven't recorded in 4 weeks, so I haven't talked to you. So I have a lot to say. I've been thinking a lot of things, and I just feel like this is my time to get to share it one more time and really like either speak on speak on the same things I just said and add in more, or more focus in one area that I didn't in another. And I also feel like my last episode was maybe a little jumpy because I was like, oh, this and this and this, but now I feel like I've already spoken through it once. It's like I journaled it and now I am sharing it. Yeah. So I honestly don't think you're going to miss out on anything. I think that you as the user are getting a better experience because my thoughts are going to be more formulated and my sound is going to be way more better. Yeah. So we're hitting the ground running. We're doing it again. But back to the note of setting up the podcast. So I just felt like I always was having to like run from one space to another to set up the podcast. I never knew where anything was. I wasn't just like readily available. The space I was recording in didn't feel like the vibes I wanted it to feel like. I just had so many hopes and dreams for what I wanted. And it's like I was afraid to voice them. I don't know, like to myself or to Trevor, because obviously me and Trevor share this house, and anything we do, we'd like to share for any spaces we're going to take over or participate in. And I just felt like I didn't have an area that was like my work area or my area to just be and not have to share with like another item or human. And now we have created this studio, which is just mine, or just ours, I should say, where I can come and I can close the door and I can just vibe in here. Like, honestly, it is so, so like is better than what I ever expected. It's a small space, which is what I wanted. I think it's best to record in a small space. I also wanted that like intimate vibe, but it's so much better than I could have ever imagined. I was worried for what kind of chair and table I would be able to find to put my mic stand and my body on. But I found the perfect little chair at HomeSense. Like literally I was like, me and Ro went and we were looking and looking and looking. I also vlogged it. Oh yeah, I think I vlogged it for TikTok too. I'm gonna do TikTok, but I vlogged it on my vlog channel as well, so you can go see because it's so cute. But um I measured everything and I like had all the measurements for how to fit things in here. And I also found a little carpet. So I was just like so happy. I got a few picture frames. I need to put pictures in there and all these little twinkly lights, which I just feel are like my dream come true. I feel like I've wanted twinkly lights forever and now I finally have them. And I have this sunshine tapestry because I have no windows in here. And also, obviously, the sun doesn't always shine. But something about me is I'm totally solar powered. The sun just instantly sparks joy, creativity, and love in my soul. And so having this tapestry here, I just feel like is that the sense of that, and will elevate my mood. So yeah, I'm just so happy that we have this new studio and that my organization is wrapped up and that I finally just did it. Like, I feel like there was even in this past like 4 weeks of it happening, I was like, it's not gonna happen. Like I said, me and Trevor, we both decided like this is what was gonna happen. Like we're all on board. And then even in the weeks leading up to like me needing to start recording the podcast again, I was like, maybe just no. Like I kept like teetering on the line. I was like, oh, it's not necessary. Like, no, like it's too much. Like, no, I'm fine with what I have. Like, oh, if I had stayed like that, we would have just like it would have not been good. But now that we're here and we just like push past, like it might not seem discomforting to like make a space your own, but like for some reason that felt discomforting to me was just to push past and like do something and have a space that's all mine. And I'm so happy about it. And Ro is friggin' obsessed with it. It's so cute. She knows it's my studio. She the way she says podcast studio is so cute. The first time I showed her, she was like we went and bought all the stuff together, but then I did it. I put it together on her nap and I showed her and she came in and she said, oh, Mommy, it is beautiful. Like she was so excited. And I feel like me and Ro are very similar and we appreciate very similar things. We're also very excitable and like to get excited about life. So we give each other good reactions. But it's been so cute. She's been so respectful. And she's just so sweet. She'll like see something and be like, this could be cute in the podcast studio. Or I don't, it's so cute. But I'm just so happy that I have this space and that we have this space, and I just feel like so many amazing things are going to happen in this space, and it's just so heartwarming, truly. And honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. We're in our third year of the podcast. Like, what the heck? And we have our own space, our own studio, and it just feels amazing. Also, my tummy just grumbled. I don't think the mic would have picked that up, but it was a big grumble. It's hitting up that it's actually past that lunchtime for me. I eat lunch really early in the morning. Oh, that's another note on why why I wanted a studio space was because I am a morning person. And when I record anywhere else in the house, we don't really have doors that separate spaces. Well, we have doors on our like bedrooms, but not levels of the house. So, and our house is old, so like you kind of can hear sound travels. So Trevor works from home, has meetings, etc. And then when Ro's home, I just can't record. So I've always had to record in the evening after Rosie's gone to bed. Trevor's found something to do somewhere else that's quiet. And it's like I just wanted more flexibility and freedom to record when I wanted to record. And especially like in the mornings because I feel like that's when I'm my most productive and creative. And I just wanted to be able to come in here and just like sit down and get to work without any barriers. So yeah, I'm feeling so great about that. I'm so excited. Okay. Our next holiday high, Christmas. I just think Christmas in general was like really fabulous this year. I think it was a mix of a bunch of things. Ro was totally obsessed and enjoying every moment of it. And I think having kids at Christmas really makes it like warm and just like sentimental to what Christmas used to be in your heart when you had those same feelings. Like, I think it's really lovely. But I also just think it was really special because it was the first Christmas we got to all be together as family in the past couple years. We haven't got to do that. So getting to see aunts and uncles and even just um, moms and dads and sisters. Like it's just been nice to all get together and kind of get back into that normal holiday routine. Also, Trevor and I did presents for the first time in years. We haven't done presents for so long for anything really, because our big present to each other over the past few years have been doing our backyard renovation. And not that presents is like the be all, and like we definitely always appreciate experiences and being with each other, and like obviously we love our backyard, all of those things, but it was so nice to just get to spoil each other this year. And not saying that we went above and beyond or anything, but like we were really meaningful with our purchases. We had just done all this organizing and um I was gonna call it get ridding. What is it called when you like get rid of stuff? Downsizing. We've just done all this stuff, so we were really thoughtful with what we needed or wanted, and we didn't really bring anything into the house that like would have just been like a filler or whatever. So it just felt nice, and it felt really nice to get to spoil each other. I just think like sometimes it just feels so good to give. I really like I love thinking of people when it comes to things like that. Okay. And then our next thing is that we were healthy. I think this was like the highlight is that we had a healthy holiday break. And that's all I could have asked for, especially coming off of what we came off of. And it just felt so good to be able to take on each day, feeling our best and ready for what the world was going to give us. And yeah, it just felt so good to be healthy. And then our final one was New Year's Eve. We got to bring back our annual New Year's Eve party, which we haven't done for the past couple of years, but Trevor and I have been doing this for a while now. Like, I think we started before we even got married. And we get all our friends together and have a New Year's Eve party. And it was nice. This was the first one in this house, and it felt so warm and welcoming. And we were able to have people stay over. And also, now all our friends have obviously gotten older and are now in serious relationships or getting married and whatever, and have moved out of the city, and everyone kind of lives somewhere different now. So it's just nice to get everyone together and under one roof and be together and celebrate and enjoy each other's companies. And I also love hosting. So it was just really fun. And I am just so happy we were able to do it again. So that's my holiday catch up. Those are my holiday highs. If you want to know more and see like the day to day, then I vlogged the whole thing over on YouTube at 5 Years Time Podcast. You can always go over there, subscribe. I upload weekly vlogs on Sunday. And then obviously I've been on TikTok, not as much as I was in the past, but we're coming back. Anyways, this is more that we'll talk about later, but I'm always there, and I am just getting back into vibing with Instagram. But again, we will talk about that later. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Since this is a new season, a new episode, I need to take a sip of my drink because I'm thirsty. But let's do a bit of housekeeping. So, new year, season 3. Oh my gosh. This is wild. And I just want to set some like what to expect and nothing big or too different, but I think a lot more of what we have been doing. I really loved our format last year as we switched things up, and yeah, so I think just like continuing with what we've been doing each week, just having a open conversation on something that has really sparked something in me that week that I've either felt like I've learned or I can bring some, I don't know, perspective to. And so I want to continue doing that. Still, of course, our entertainment recap, our roses, buds, and thorns, and our catch up. But I also want to add in, saying that I just took a drink, is that each week I'm now making a fun drink. Now that we have this new cutie studio, it's like I want to make recording the podcast the best experience ever. Um, as like a whole routine ritual situation. So I've always brought water when recording the podcast because you always need a little sip here and there when you're talking. But why not also add in a fun drink? So each week I'm going to make a fun drink and I'll let you know what it is. This week it's actually so good. I'm going to take another sip. Oh, it's just so refreshing. So it's ice, lemonade, ice and then lemonade, not ice lemonade, although I wish I had a slushy machine. Ice and then lemonade. And then I poured over the AHA, which is like a sparkling water flavor peach and honey, I believe. Yeah, I think it's called peach and honey. Oh, it's so good. Mm. Just like a little spritzer, delicious, delicious, delicious. So that's my drink of the week. And then of course we have water over here. I'm in a little high water bottle. Mm, delicious. We always love her. But yeah, so that's my drink of the week. And each week I'll come and I'll share whatever drink I've been making, or I guess that I made and will be drinking. I also will make a TikTok video if it's something like that one's not too hard to make, but some things might get a little creative. Okay. Another topic that I want to bring up each week is this is something I've wanted to do for a while and have not done. Like, I feel like halfway through last year, I was like, oh, I want to add in this segment. And then I just never did it. And each week I was like, just do it, just do it. And then I was like, no one's going to care. No one's going to care. But the only way, like, this is also going into my heart to heart, but anything I've learned that has to do with sharing is like, you stop thinking nobody's going to care. Like, you care, so just share. Like, that's all that matters. The only thing you can do is be yourself and share the things that you like and enjoy or don't like and enjoy. Like, whatever, just share it. So I want to do a snack of the week. I have, if you follow me on TikTok, you know this, but like a main form of eating, especially for my lunches, is doing like snack plates where I just like accumulate a little bit of everything, whatever I'm craving. I just have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, make a whole plate. And I always notice that there's like a highlight of each week or something that I get fixated on and just like love so, so much. And so I think it's fun to be inspired and just share what my snack of the week is, what that single thing that I'm loving so much. So that if you're looking for a snack recommendation or that sounds delicious to you, you can pop it on your grocery list to add to your snack rotation. I'm always looking for snack recommendations. I friggin' love snacks. So I'm not sure how we're gonna transition into this segment because I haven't talked to Trevor about it yet. He edits the podcast, so I'm just gonna pop it in right now. But next week we'll come with a better transition. But our snack of the week this week is Parmesan crusted salami. I am friggin' obsessed with it. I haven't had it in years. I totally forgot about it. The only reason I did have it recently is because Trevor bought it. I made him a grocery list to go get things for New Year's, and I just put on the grocery list like if he's going shopping and there's not like something specific I want, but I know that I want to make like a charcuterie board, then I'll say get a hard cheese, a soft cheese, a spicy meat, a not spicy meat, whatever. And then he can go decide whatever he wants, pick out the actual specific thing that he wants. So that's exactly what I did. And he bought this Parmesan crusted salami. And the second I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, I love this. I didn't even have it. Like, I had it years ago, but I was like, oh, frick, I forgot about this. Thank you for buying it. And then I like cracked into it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So basically, it's just like a salami, but then it has a Parmesan like layer on the outside of it. And it is so delicious and just rich and layered. It has that like salami, but then with that really like, sharp Parmesan-y flavor. Oh, it's so good. Ours specifically is from Farm Boy. I don't know if I've seen it anywhere else. I only really shop at Farm Boy for that type of stuff. So I'm sure other people have it, but if you have a Farm Boy close to you, you got to go get it. And if you don't, then just please check out your meat area, like your sausagey area, and or ask the grocer if they have it. Google it. You got to get your hands on some Parmesan crusted salami. It's so, so, so good. Just on its own is like immaculate. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Yeah, I really think that's most of the housekeeping. Oh, I have one more thing. And this is bittersweet. But we are going to just do Wednesday uploads for season 3. Sunday Reset was wonderful and I enjoyed doing it, and I think it definitely had a time and a place. And I also loved getting to share my music every week. That being said, I will still continue to share my music. I'm just going to make a like 5 years time playlist that I continually add songs to. So it's almost like my liked songs, but it's like open to the public for all of y'all, and I will make sure to link it in the show notes. So if you want to follow that, then you can just like consistently I'll just add songs as I like vibe with them. I'll be like, oh, I love this song. I can't stop dancing to it. And then I'll pop it on there or whatever. But yes, we're not going to do Sunday Reset because we have added the addition of our vlogs, our weekly vlogs on YouTube for Sunday. And I feel like they kind of have reset-y vibes in the sense that they're like very routine based and they share like each routine of every day, you know what I mean? And I think they have like the same type of quality They're obviously longer, but I feel like they have that like motivational quality to them and aspirational element. Also, it's just real and raw. Like I'm over here just living my life, doing laundry every day. I actually have a good laundry routine right now, but anyways, on that note, like I just think like I've said like so many times, I just feel as though this year I want to really create consistency, and I'm not saying I wasn't consistent with it, but consistency and joy in everything that I do. And I think that this will open up my ability to put more energy and connection and effort into the Wednesday upload of 5 years time, and I think that that's where I want to spend my energy this year. So yes, goodbye to Sunday Reset. If you loved it, I thank you so much for the support and the love, but there will be so much good and excellence in this weekly Wednesday upload. So that is our housekeeping for this year, which means that we're moving into what I learned this week. What I learned this week, or should I say, what I learned this past 4 weeks. And I'm just bearing my soul. We are having a heart to heart here. And I just have to tell you, I have been so stuck in my head. I I got sick with the flu, which really was the sickness that took me out. All the other ones, it was like I was able to power through, continue doing things, but this flu really took me out. And I think it was like 3 days, at least two of really sick, and then the third day of still sick, like fevers, shivers, all of that stuff. And then a few more days of just complete exhaustion, like so tired. But because of that, I just totally like stopped posting on TikTok, on Instagram, on anything. I just stopped posting. And I at first felt really stressed about the idea of not posting on TikTok pretty much because I feel like I don't know, like there's this thing about TikTok where they're like you have to be consistent, and it's like a lot of pressure sometimes. But then you have to realize like you also need to factor in your happiness, your health, all of those things. And taking a break is not being consistent. I don't know. I think there's like this toxic energy around posting on social media sometimes, and I was getting wrapped up into it. And so that's when I was starting to feel stressed about that, even though I was like so sick, I was like, okay, girl, you really need to take a break. You need to take a break and reevaluate. And that's exactly what I did. So I took that time off. And then even coming back, I didn't post as frequently as I was because I just needed to like reset my goals and my strategy as to why I'm doing this, why I love it, and make sure that I was feeling good and happy and content and authentic with myself because I was getting so stuck in my head. As I took that break, then I was consuming more. And I feel like as a creative, when you're consuming more, you're obviously not posting as much, but you're falling into comparison trap. I hate comparison. Why is comparison a thing? Why do we do it? Why do we do it? We're all so beautiful and we all have so much to offer that is independent from anyone else. And why? Who? Where does it come from? I need to find somebody to talk to and bring on the podcast about comparison because I need to understand, is comparison something that like we've grown to learn, or is it something that we were like given at birth? Like is it something that we all have within us no matter about anything else? I need to know because why do we do it? Why do we want to take why I'm not necessarily saying when we compare we're tearing other people down, but like that is the same element as like, oh, they're better than me, da da da. But it's like, no, we're all not like we can all do everything. We all have our own highs and everyone has their highs. And then like what I'm good at is different than what you're good at and like you know what I mean? We all like mush together and like create good things together. Like the better together. Anyways, I was falling into this like self-doubt and comparison trap, and I was just like consuming too much and feeling like, "Oh, why would anyone care about what I have to post? Like this person does this better or this person." And I'm like, "Why do I care what anyone cares? Like what makes me happy? What do I like doing?" Because at the end of the day, that's what I've been doing is just like sharing with the internet what I love, what I do. But then obviously as you grow an audience, then you have so many opinions thrown at you and like it's great. Like there's so many amazing people and I'm so thankful for all of you. But then like you're opening yourself to hearing what everyone has to say about every little thing and like, yes, they like this, no, they don't like that, or they want more of that. But then like in your mind, you're like, I didn't really like doing that. And now they want more. So then you feel pressure to have more of that. It's just like sometimes there's a lot of noise and then you get stuck in your head and then you just like are swimming around thinking like, what's the point? Like, I don't have anything good to offer. And I feel like that's where I was. I was also very run down. I feel like I didn't give myself enough self-care in the fall, and I feel like I was just like I was eliminating I was eliminating things to take care of myself so that I had time to continue posting or creating or whatever. And I just feel like I was given a little too much to the world and not enough to me. And so I just need to like reshift my mindset and my brain. And then at the end of the day, it's fear, right? Like you're afraid to switch what you're doing because what if it changes? But then like at the same time everything's going to change, and if something's not working for you at that moment, you should reset. Like why do you want to work for other people when something's not working for you? You know what I mean? So, as I've done this, I've definitely had this whole reset switch in the past 4 weeks, and I just feel like so much better, so much back to my like same self that I'm used to, like the same way of being able to bounce from a high to a low and just like ebb and flow, less like, oh, whoa, drastic roller coaster. Um, yeah, and I'm just feeling way less run down, way more organized, which I just feel like I was not organized at all going into this working from myself situation. I kind of just like had all these ideas all the time and I wasn't appropriately organizing them. Like I'd write them in a note here and a note there, whatever. And I also like really missed out on um making my to-do list. I think that was the last Sunday reset of the year, which wow, that Sunday reset blew me away. Like I'm still on it. Like I'm still kicking with that. But it was about writing things down and just making to-do lists. And so every night I write everything down I want to do the next day. And I also have a week at a glance where I write down like what on Sunday or whatever, like my week at a glance looks like. So there's things like specific things that I don't miss out on. But then each morning I'm able to reference that list and just get going and like check it off. And I'm super practical with my list. And like over years of experience of making these lists, I like know what my capacity is and I like try to be as realistic as possible. It's a learning lesson, but like you really just gotta start slow. Like start with one thing and then add another, and then you'll get to where your like perfect zone is. And also, once you do every task, you'll understand how long it takes or how much capacity it needs and all that stuff. But, anyways, that being said, it was like I was just so disorganized, and that was making me feel like I never was in control. And I was like still creating and posting and doing everything I needed to be doing, but I just felt like I didn't have control over it. And so I really, really needed to just like start fresh in that element and create structure for myself. I think that's something so important, especially for people who work from home, or work for themselves, is creating structure around your day and creating like consistency for yourself outside of your work. Like I have always been able to produce in any work setting, but maybe in my own like personal world, I just feel hectic on the inside. You know what I mean? So I was just feeling all these things, self-doubt. I was feeling really comparison oriented. I was feeling very disorganized and very, very run down. And now I've just kind of like totally had a reset, and I'm feeling so inspired, so joy filled and regulated and just like organized and really, really comforted in the steps I've taken to ensure that I'm supported, because at the end of the day I work only for myself, so I am the only person at the end of the day here to support me. There's nobody to tell me what to do or make sure that I'm feeling good or in a good mindset. So I just put in those supports and kind of taken that new role on for myself. Like, Grace, you are not just employee, you are also caretaker and supporter and cheerleader, and you need to be as positive and organized and like caring to yourself as you can. So that has been a big thing, and I feel like I've talked a lot about like kind of changing my mindset. Like it's been a whole whirlwind going into this new type of work that I've never done before, like work environment that I've never done before. the uncharted territory. And so it's been a learning curve. And I think I'm really like working through it now. I took time to sit down and actually really work through what I needed to be doing. Yeah, so that being said, I just feel like now I am so motivated and excited to um, be in this routine I am in. And I've just been really, really enjoying hitting the ground running with that, being back on Instagram. Like, Instagram has been so overwhelming for me. I love TikTok, and it can be overwhelming in the sense of like people's perceptions sometimes, but like the actual posting and like making videos isn't necessarily overwhelming for me. It feels really authentic. The podcast feels beyond authentic. It's literally me bearing my soul. um I've been having so much fun on YouTube vlogging. Like, at first I was feeling a little stressed out, and then um one week my vlog wasn't going to upload or something, my clips were going to not work, and then I got really like I was really distraught about that. Like, I was like kind of like, oh, I really love this week. And anyways, that kind of did a whole mind shift change for me, and I've really been enjoying vlogging. So yeah, that's been great. But Instagram, I just feel like this disconnect for me. Like, I in my personal life with my personal Instagram, which is private and I only have a few followers, my friends and family, I loved it so, so much. Like, loved Instagram. Like, would post multiple times a day. When Reels started, I was obsessed with Reels. I would do daily vlogs. I'm always on my stories. Like, I loved sharing over there. And now I like rarely ever post there. I just like felt kind of conflicted because I was like, oh, I need to pay attention to 5 years' time, which I was excited for, build a new audience and whatever. And then I didn't want to be like repetitive if people from that were following me on my personal or my, the, what is this called? Business Instagram. And so it was just like, I don't know, I was just feeling like all in my head about it. And then it was like, but I don't even know what I want 5 years time podcast to be, because at the beginning it was like an Instagram to share the podcast, but now I feel like 5 years time podcast has grown so much bigger than just the podcast, and it's like food and it's friends and it's family and it's fun and it's creativity and it's openness and it's just like this whole new world. And it's like, how do I captivate that in one page? And so I was feeling very overwhelmed about it. Anyways, I kind of opened up about that on New Year's with a bunch of my friends. We were all together, and that's another thing about working for yourself is you don't have someone to like run ideas through or bounce ideas off of. You kind of just are like internalizing, and then like you only have your own thoughts to layer on top of that, which doesn't always help. And so then I was with my friends on New Year's, and a lot of them do listen to the podcast. And I was able to share like some idea or share how I was feeling and how I was feeling about Instagram and like what I had ideas about wanting to do. And I don't know, I was just nice to be able to talk openly about it with more people and hear other people's ideas and all of that stuff. So that was really helpful for me. And then I just was like, okay, let's just do it. Like, let's have fun on Instagram. It's not about curating a feed, it's not about doing what all the social media gurus are telling you to do. Like, it's literally just about sharing you authentically, and who wants to be there can be there, and who doesn't have to be there. And that's how I've taken it now. And so I've been actively on Instagram for the past few days, and I've been having so much fun with it. It's been nice to share stories. It's been so I always love sharing stories on Instagram and being more active, because I always have more conversations with all the cuties, and it just feels so great to be in the DMs and talking. And I've had this big debate over, should I repost my TikTok? Should I whatever? And at first I was like, I don't want to do it. It seems so repetitive. But then like I do understand how some people have Instagram and not TikTok. There's new audiences, whatever. And so now I've slowly started. I did start in the old year last year and with a few, and I like it didn't feel good. So I was like, I don't want to do this. But now I've started with some vlogs, which have felt good. I do some vlogs on TikTok, so I feel good about sharing them on Instagram. It feels authentic to like me as a whole. And I think maybe one day maybe I'll share some recipes. But the thing is, the recipe videos, you only get a minute and a half, and a lot of my recipe videos are longer than that. So I don't know. We'll see. But like right now I'm enjoying sharing some vlogs and just having that more visual aspect to this whole thing. And that's why I've always liked doing the weekly photo dumps, which I think I will continue doing, because I always do my catch up here at the beginning of the episode where I give you a little recap on my week. And it's nice to have a visual element, I think. So that's why I've been posting the weekly photo dumps. And I think I'll go back to continuing them. But, anyways, that being said, like, I'm just going to do what feels good and not have pressure and not feel like I do want to create consistency and comfort, but I don't want to that being said, I need to like I have to decide what that is. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Like what feels fun can be my consistency and comfort, and I can continue to post those things. So the week of my life, the vlogs, being on my stories, and then also I've started posting my weekly meal plan, which I think is so exciting. I feel like a lot of people, at first I was like, why would anyone care about this? But I think people are excited about it. I have wanted to do that for a while. And then I get stuck in my head and I say, why will people care about this? But why do I care what other people think? Like, I like making them, so share them. I have to make them each week. And I feel like everyone else has to make them every week for their food. And so it's just nice to have a little bit of inspiration. So I've started a highlight there on Instagram where I will post my weekly meal plans just so you can go check those out when you're going grocery shopping. And then obviously on TikTok is where I post like all the recipe videos. If there's anything that you ever want to make, then there'll be a TikTok on how to make it. But you can always DM me too, and I'm always open to conversation, especially around food. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I've been. I just got really stuck in my head and I was just like undervaluing myself and also just like continually telling myself that what I wanted to do was like either not enough or like why would people care or like other people do that better. And it was just like a lot of negative self-talk and not good. It was a bad place to be. I'm feeling so much better. I'm feeling so much more inspired, and I'm feeling so much more confidence and love for myself. And just like I'm ready to be my cheerleader because at the end of the day, that is also my job is to cheer myself on. And that is what I want to do. I want to cheer myself on. This is the whole reason I'm doing this. I decided to just like dive deep in on myself and believe in myself. And I need to continue doing that. So that's where we're at. And I'm so excited to be back here. Honestly, cuties, I'm so excited to be back here. And it just feels so good. And I'm like literally beaming ear to ear being in this new studio. That being said, I've also been recording the audio, not audio, obviously the audio, the video. Um, and is this something you would want to see on YouTube? I'm using a different method that I did before. Like I posted a few episodes last year on YouTube. And honestly, it was such a headache and a half because my camera audio wouldn't connect to my microphone because it's an older camera. So then I would have to like sync up the audio. It was just like a whole thing. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it, but I'm using a different recording system this time around. So I'm not sure if this is something you would want on YouTube or not. I might post this episode on YouTube and then we can like vibe from there, get feedback. But like also please reach out and let me know if that's something you would like or if you like really feel strongly against it not being on YouTube. But I mean, if other people want it, it'll be there. Yeah, so that's another little exciting thing. Also, you can see a bit of like the background. I did record the vlog on how like setting up our studio, which will be up this Sunday. Yes, it will. I'm like, when is it up? Yeah, it'll be up this Sunday on making the studio. So, yeah. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have this space and I'm really, really looking forward to the year ahead. On that note, too, please let me know if there's anything that you'd love to see more of or less of, or I guess hear more of or hear less of. Your feedback always means the world to me. I'm sending you so much love and so much joy. We're going into this year together and we are just all going to really, really be our most authentic and loving selves to one another and to ourselves. Okay. Like we are our biggest cheerleader and don't forget that. And that is something I need to not forget. I think I'm going to remind us every episode like, love yourself and just like share so much joy and care for yourself and cheer yourself on for whatever you want to do because whatever you like doing and are interested in is worthy 100%. Okay. No comparing. I love you all so much. Sending hugs and kisses. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, cuties.